Yo, all right. So this game is called Immaculate Grid, and this recording here is I'm gonna show you how to play this game. And in the nature that we love to take all the things we do when we hang out, right? We're gonna try and figure out how to make it competitive in the future, perhaps, and maybe we can go head to head against each other with it. So look, this one here is I don't know. I came across this link. I think I saw it somewhere on an article that I read, and I thought I'd check out the website. And it's basically a grid here of 3 by 3, so 9 squares here, where you just have to select an answer that matches both grids. In theory, it's actually quite easy, but there's obviously a score at the end, where the rarer I believe the answer is, the higher you score. Sorry, incorrect. The lower you score, because it's, I believe, like a game of golf. So the lower you score, the better. Okay, so if you get an extremely rare answer, you score low, and therefore you would get an extremely low overall score. So for example, if you were to pick, if two of the grids were there, as an example, Lakers and Magic. Okay, so you'd have to pick a player that has played for both. If you pick Shaq, which play most people would know, oh yeah, he played for both, you'd probably get a fairly high score. It would be correct, but you'd get a fairly high score. But if you pick someone like, I don't know, like Brian Shaw, all right, who obviously played for both teams in his career, you would score lower because it would be rarer. I guess most people would not choose Brian Shaw over Shaq, or maybe Dwight Howard even. These are really big names that played for both of those organizations. At the end of the day, also, you only get 9 guesses. So you can see on the right-hand side, there's only 9 guesses. All right. So if you burn up your 9 guesses and you don't fill any of these squares, I think you cop an automatic 100-point penalty. All right. So any remaining squares here sort of cost you big time. So you sort of want to try and get an answer. So, hey, that's the lowdown of it. Let's play together today. We got to find a player that played for Memphis and Atlanta Hawks.
Right. Okay. So just to clarify for anyone who's watching, it's just per grid. So then if I move across one, it's a player who played for Atlanta and OKC, and then the last one is someone who on Atlanta who had 20 plus points a game. And
Correct.
we're trying to go obscure, or in
Yeah,
certain cases, just try to get it.
look, you in certain cases you just want to get it, but the
Yeah.
less people that guess that play or that answer, I believe, then obviously gives
It
you a higher score.
ratio. It's like a ratio. So yeah, okay, it goes off that. Um, let's see what happens. I'm excited just to do it because sometimes verbal instructions don't pan out the way I want them to. Memphis and Atlanta. Am I right to say that Vince Carter played for both of those teams? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Let's try it. But I
Let's try
feel
it.
it's gonna be fairly common, but let's just pick it. And I think the other quick catch, so 44%. So that's fairly high. So some players might be under
Okay,
10%,
I'm so
might be under
sorry. All right,
5%.
my bad.
Okay. But that's okay.
Um,
That's how you play. Now, Vince
all right,
Carter cannot be used for another
again,
answer. All right. So
got
something
it.
to keep in mind
Okay,
too. All right.
so
So
that was bad. OKC and Atlanta, I would say like Mike Muscala. I believe that might be a more obscure answer.
did he play Atlanta?
I believe so. Hope so.
There you go. There you go. You're on
You're
fire.
welcome.
8%.
You're welcome. All right. And a player who's averaged 20 points but wasn't uh Dominique comes to mind, Trey Young comes to mind, but terrible guesses.
Yeah.
DeJounte
Who?
Murray would still be a bad guess
Hey,
because
how
they're
about Spud
recent.
Webb? Did Spud Webb average over 20 points a
No,
game?
I don't know. I feel like Doc Rivers had a better chance of averaging 20 than
But not
him.
not at Atlanta. I think he was at New York when he was sort of real high scoring
When he
guard, or
was at the peak of his
higher
power.
scoring guard. Yeah. Um.
Um,
Real
trying to go
quick.
through the list, obscure players
How
like
about
Joe
Sharif?
Johnson.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim was at the Hawks, wasn't he? But I don't know.
Sure, let's go Sharif.
Was he scoring 20 points a game at that point of his career?
I don't know. I thought that might have been Grizzlies at that. Joe Johnson feels like a safe bet for that, but I don't know if he would have been picked a lot. It depends on the average age of the player.
Did Al
I go
Horford
Joe
ever
Johnson.
average 20 points a game at the Hawks? That was his prime,
Me?
wasn't he?
No, that was like his youthful prime, so to speak. I don't know. Yeah,
What, Joe
Josh
Johnson?
Smith
Joe
as
Johnson's
well.
still. Oh, Josh Smith. Oh, yeah, some good name. Which one's more rare? Who's gonna give us the highest score now? Should we go Joe Johnson, or Josh Smith? I don't know. What do you reckon?
I
But
feel
it's
good
still
about Joe Johnson
Joe
averaging
Johnson.
20 points more
All
than I do about any of the other guys
right,
we've mentioned.
let's click it. Let's click it. All right, 14%. That's not too bad.
See, that's
All
what I
right.
meant. Like, and you know what? This is a benefit of being a bit older, right? Because I feel like if we pick DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, they're like the 50% answers. You know what I mean? All
All
right,
right,
a
Memphis,
player
Utah.
on.
Memphis and Utah.
Utah and Memphis. I mean, Mike Conley comes to mind. Um,
That's probably your most obvious
who
one,
else?
isn't it?
It's an obvious one. I don't know. They're both obscure franchises if you get really particular. Um, who else? Who
It's probably
else?
who played for
Rudy
Utah, right?
Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay played both.
We did. Did he play Memphis? You did, right? I
Yep.
don't even know.
He
Where
started. Dude,
did he
that's
start?
his prime.
No. What would I know about basketball, right? All
All right, you
right, let's
can.
go Rudy Gay. Surely Rudy Gay over Mike Conley, right? Let's go Rudy Gay, right? 19%. We'll take that. Take that. All right. We got OKC, Utah.
OKC and Utah. Uh, I mean,
Now this is where you draw mind blanks, right? I think that's
no,
the
look, I'm trying to think. You know, you go recent and then you go from there. Like Derek Favors played for both. Derek Favors would be a good one.
when did Derek Favors play for the Thunder? Really? Did he?
Yeah,
He was
promise
just
you.
on the
Let's do
bench,
it.
right?
Do it.
Derek Favors, you feel so confident, right? You got
I
what's this?
feel
Less than
super
10%?
confident.
37%. That's
All
pretty
right, that's why
high.
I was so confident because
Everyone knew it except me. Everyone knew it except me. That's okay then.
I would say,
Oh, you want to go Laurie here,
what do you
right?
call it?
But everyone would go Laurie right now, isn't that the point?
No, so
Carmelo,
Laurie Markkinen. Then you've got Gordon Hayward. He just eclipsed the 20 points. Donovan Mitchell's an obvious one. Then you go back and you go Karl Malone. I
Malone.
feel like Jeff Hornacek could be a decent guess
Do you
here,
average
not a
20?
great
I
one.
feel like he averaged like 17, 18.
Maybe Adrian Dantley, I believe, if you go back even further.
You reckon average 20?
Um,
I feel like
yeah, Adrian Dantley. Yeah, he's top
yeah.
scorer.
Like for the Jazz? Was he playing for the Jazz?
That's the hard part. He might have been playing for someone else at that point. So, because I know that he did get traded, I think, to the Pistons, but I could be wrong. Um, yeah, look, I don't know. You sometimes, yeah, I get the debate, right? You want to bank an answer more than Gordon Hayward, I know, averaged 20. And
Everyone's got to go Gordon Hayward. He's too fresh in your memory that
Donovan
you would.
Mitchell is the fresh 20 point, and Laura Markkinen, they're both your 20
Yeah, but
points.
then people, you see, here's the thing: people are going to start to think back, oh, but I don't want to go. Then the obvious one. So then you're going to get to Gordon Hayward next.
I don't know if people are thinking about
who
that
was
much.
between Karl Malone and Gordon Hayward? I'm trying to think here. Who was at the Jazz at that point that was scoring buckets for them? Someone had to be like,
Oh, Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer.
There you go. There we go. So I don't know. One of them. I reckon we go one of them. Which one? You reckon Boozer?
I don't know if
Boozer?
Darren Williams did average 20 points though. I feel like he would have averaged like 18 and 10, so to speak. And Boozer may have also averaged like 18 and 8 or 18 and 10. I don't know if either of them puts 20. Go Boozer,
should
just
we go
for
Boozer?
our
Go
curiosity. Go Boozer just for our curiosity. I don't know if he did though.
5%. Yeah.
All right. All right. Look at us.
It. There you go. There you go. All right. We got
New York
Knicks
and Memphis.
Grizzlies. I was like, D Rose didn't play for Memphis, did he? It was Minnesota.
Does.
It was Minnesota.
He does right now.
Oh, he does, right?
He plays right now. He plays right now.
There you go.
Assuming it's up to date, go D Rose.
Now suddenly I assume everyone's going to pick that because he's the latest. You reckon that's so obscure that no one's going to actually go D Rose? Yeah, you reckon go
I
D Rose?
reckon go Derek Rose to see if it's up to date for the offseason. That's what I'm curious about.
You're always
if it's up to date now.
Oh, what happened?
Nah,
it's wrong.
Because he hasn't
it's
played
wrong.
yet.
Oh no. Oh no. That's cost us 100 points, dude.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no. So now you can guess that square again, but we only got 2 guesses and only 3 squares, so you can choose which ones you want to get.
So we want to try to go obscure now. Yeah, I get you.
So now we need a strategy. So do you want
to
go?
Honestly, I think we've got a better chance of getting like the 20-point scorers. I think are the hardest category. So I think you got a better chance of getting obscure on the other 2. I know that they are best percentile, but
so what, you want to have another guess? Another guess at Grizzlies and Knicks? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like someone who's played on both. I can't think of any, but I'm sure they're there.
You wanted to go with it. Why don't we just go with Thunder and Knicks, and then we'll make a choice.
All right, go Thunder and Knicks. All right, we're moving on.
Thunder and Knicks. Who played Thunder and Knicks? See, here's the
Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, so now everyone's gonna go Carmelo, right? So
it's gonna be better than a blank.
Do you reckon? Actually, you know what? Maybe people wouldn't pick Carmelo because people would forget that Thunder stretch, right? I think.
Do it.
I think.
Do it. See what happens. See what happens.
Suddenly be at 80% or something, yeah.
It probably will be. I reckon it's going to be pretty hot.
47. There you go. Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
get your
half
score.
against
You
the
get your
US.
score. All right. So
And
now we gotta go either way. We either go Knicks 20 points a game, which definitely I think we can pick names because right now it feels like we're struggling to come up with a, a legitimate
all
name
right,
for
go
Grizzlies
Bernard.
and
I
Knicks.
reckon Bernard King. Bernard King would have had 20 points. I don't think he'd be a big name. You'd think about Ewing. You'd think about Carmelo again, obviously. Even Stoudemire, for example. Stephen Marbury, did he average 20 in New York?
Mm, mm,
Um,
mm. Allen Houston. How about
don't
Allen
believe.
Houston?
I don't. Did he average 20?
Spreewell. Larry Johnson.
Sprewell, Sprewell, Larry Johnson. But did they average 20? Because they were like, not that it was a stacked team, so to speak, but like there was a couple of different players there doing stuff at the same time. Bernard King to me feels like a name that would just slip out of everyone's mind.
I got a good one actually. Why don't we go RJ Barrett?
Did
No
he
one.
average 20?
He did. He did. He's a 20. He averaged 20 in his second year, I believe. Maybe exactly
I
20. I feel like if we go RJ Barrett, people would just not pick him because you
all
would
right,
pick. I don't know,
all
but then
right.
again, maybe he's too
I had a
maybe he's
wrong
too
guess.
recent. Maybe
You
he's
might
too
as well get a
recent. I
wrong
don't
guess.
know.
No,
Now I feel like I
no,
should
no,
go
no.
Bernard King. Maybe Bernard King's like 0.5%. I don't know. People like who's Bernard King? I don't know. I don't know
Uh,
which way to go now.
you know what though? I'm more interested now knowing if RJ Barrett really did average 20 points because I don't think he did.
I'm feeling confident that we're gonna at least get a score here, right? Ah, yeah, I got a score. I got a score. 278.
All
There you
right.
go. That's a final score, which is, 2%. 2%. There you
Okay, good
go.
one. Good one. Good one.
I felt like people would choose like Brunson over Barrett. People would choose Randall
Well, Randall.
over Barrett.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, I
that's
get you.
the
I
key,
get you. I
yeah.
get you.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. So we got what do we get? 278. Not bad. We
Is
lost
there like
100
a
points there,
leaderboard?
obviously.
I'm surprised just from a website design. Is there a leaderboard for the general public? Because that would be nice to know where we kind of rank
I
today.
guess I guess this is where you tell your mates I got 278. Now you try and beat me later tonight when you got some time, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
All right, and
I'll,
that is
I'll
how you play Immaculate Grid, and let's figure out how we can make this competitive, right?
This is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.